everyone. Yes, it's Sheri from Sheri Sip and Think, and I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on here, and I've had a few people reach out to me wondering where I've been, and wondering why I haven't been on here. It's for me. August is a time of year where I like to kind of regroup and reorganize, especially because the school year is coming, and just, there's only, like, once September hits, it's like 6 months until January, right? So, just a lot going on, and I took a picture earlier of the sun covered by the clouds, and like now it's like out and bright, and I was going to go back in and get my sunglasses, but now I'm looking at you and I'm blind, so I can't really see you, even though you can see me, because I'm blinded by the light. So, because I know you watch all my videos, and so tonight's topic is effort. If you haven't noticed, in the last couple of weeks, the energy has been very intense and very strong. And, I don't know if that coincides with, like, the sign of the Leo, which is like a lion, which comes with strong energy, But, things are kind of and this is how I've been explaining it to people. Things right now, they're not at a standstill, but we're just kind of moving forward, but we're doing it cautiously. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not like full throttle moving forward, but we're not at a standstill, but we're cautious. And we're continuing to still do things and move forward. So for me, my day job, yeah, we had bandana day today. It was kind of funny. I walked into the coffee shop and this guy did like a double take, and I'm like, listen, I'm not part of the Crips. It's all right. Like, it's just bandana day, and it shouldn't matter. I like all colors. So because when you watch this video, or for anyone else who's watching today, our topic again is effort, and we're still working off of our why is it yet. And last video we worked on the letter D, which was determined, and before that we worked on the letter C, which was challenge, right? And you may agree or you may not agree with me that the last couple of weeks we have been going through some challenges. And you may say, Sheri, we've been going through challenges all year, but doesn't it seem like currently the energy and the tension has just been weird, And I love the fact that we had the letter D after we had the letter C, because to get through those challenges, we had to be determined. And yeah, we're still determined and we're still going through challenges, but we are slowly and cautiously moving forward. This week's letter, or this video's letter, is E. Big E and little e, which stands for effort. Effort and practice help you learn and grow. We get better when we are trying our best. So it's almost like practice makes perfect, but you have to put in the effort to try, And I do think you're putting in the effort, but, think about if there were no external factors, okay, it would be a breeze, wouldn't it? We're given challenges to test our strength. It's also, we're given challenges because they help us grow. And having the mindset to be determined to get through those challenges bring you to the letter E, which is effort. So yeah, I have these challenges. I'm determined to get through them, but what effort am I going to put into it to continue to move forward? And let's look at the back. Mind you, Y is for yet. It's a growth mindset alphabet by Shannon Anderson. And so let's see, they have a dictionary in the back, and they don't have effort in the glossary for this book. But I hope I was able to give you an example of effort. Would you say effort is kind of like an action that you take to move forward? I don't know. I have some people who are real smart. They can beg to differ. They could agree. Maybe they'd put in some effort. Who knows? Maybe they are putting in effort, but I am blind because of the sun, and therefore I don't see the effort. Sometimes it's not till down the road that when you look back, you then realize, oh, they were putting in the effort. But I also think that everyone learns differently, and the effort I put in may not be the same effort you put in. And so, being of a certain caliber, I have to take into consideration your growth and where you are as to what effort you're putting into it to move forward. I do feel as though, some goals that we have for our future, as we go through this process, they're not all clear, right? Our end goals aren't completely clear. We just know that not having that goal doesn't make sense. Do I make sense? Like, for instance, since we're chatting here, we've had changes because we've grown. Maybe we've grown together in certain things. Maybe we've grown apart in other things, Does it mean I don't think you have the capacity to get to your goal? No. I definitely think you do. Maybe it's how much effort you're putting in. But then again, if your time is slim, can you put in that much effort? And people might say that about me, like Sheri. Like, you do this, you do that, you do this. Like, how much effort do you put into it? I'm always putting effort into it. You just only see some of the effort when I come on here and I talk about it. Right? Or if I act a fool. I'm just being myself. One thing I've learned in life is that no matter what's out there, who's out there, just be yourself. And yeah, you yourself, you grow. So sometimes, certain things you used to do, you might not do. But, I'm a child at heart. So, I'm a big kid at heart. And I do wear my heart on my sleeve. And so, yes, that makes me vulnerable, and it allows others to take advantage of me. But I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Like, look at the positive, okay? Like, instead of being pessimistic about it, let's look at the, be optimistic about it. You know? It only pushed me to move harder, put more effort in. It challenged me on every level, but I did it anyways. And in a way, I'm grateful. I'm truly grateful because it gave me an opportunity that I didn't see, And why didn't I see it? Was I blind to it? Was I, still in that box that I have and not stepping outside the box? However, this experience has allowed me to see other points of views, to encourage me to step out of the box. Sometimes I step out and then I step back in. It's kind of like when you go to the beach and you want to test the water and you want to see if it's cold or not, and you put one foot in. It's almost like, ugh, do I put both feet in? Do I take my foot out? Sometimes we're in that. I got one foot in and one foot out, and well, that's not so bad. Like, my foot starts becoming numb. Oh no, the water feels really good. Maybe I'll put both my feet in. But I stepped out of the sandbox and into the water box. So I'm just sipping and thinking, chatting with y'all, because you've contacted me separately, DMs, Messenger. You've let me know that, it's helped you, especially going through some life's challenges, I just had to make sure, my kids are vaccinated. I got, my youngest is going into his senior year in high school, so I want to make sure that's all taken care of, see what he needs for school, and, paid court fines, got that out of the way, so, and honestly, and I don't mean to say this in a bad way, but if you do pay a fine, any kind of fine with the state, make sure you take a picture of that shit. And then it was funny because it's like, we got a notice from the Division of Taxation for my daughter, right? And it was saying that she owed money, and I'm like, we paid that. And I kept the receipt because anything that has to do with the government, like, shit, you better keep a receipt, you know what I'm saying? Because for some odd reason, they don't seem to enter stuff into the system correctly. I don't know how people got jobs for them and all that shit. It's like, seriously, I called and I was like, I used my credit card. My daughter gave me the cash. I used my credit card to pay for her taxes. And we paid them in May, and you're like, now adding on interest, and I'm like, we already paid that. She said, I'm sorry, you're not her power of attorney. You can't, I can't speak to you on your, in regards to your daughter. Excuse me? That was my credit card. It's my daughter. Now, I had to hold myself back, because then I had to put myself in her shoes and say, okay, she's the worker on the other side. She doesn't know if I'm her mother. So I was getting frustrated, and I was just like, listen, I just want to let you know that we made the payment. Here's the reference number. I can email you a copy of it, or I can fax it over to you. But she was like, right off the get-go, no, I can't speak to you. Okay, I get it. But I'm frustrated because I'm trying to do a lot of shit too. And I know you're probably like, well, Sheri, why didn't your daughter call? Well, my daughter and I are going to call together just to make sure that they did receive the fax, because I don't have time for them to sit there and say to me, you owe this much money, when in fact it was already paid. Like, hello? It would have made your job easier and my job easier if you had just taken down the reference number and cross-referenced it to say, yes, it was paid. You're not telling me anything about her medical history. You're not telling me anything about her financial history. I get it. I understand that. But all I was asking was to make sure that you received the payment. Because on my end, I have a copy and a reference number. So I don't understand that. And yeah, I was frustrated with it. And so it made me just think, okay, yeah, my daughter's over 18, so now I have to go get power of attorney information done. You know, it really put things into perspective. You know? I'm like, what if you were in the hospital? What if something happened to you? What if you went to college? What if you went to school? Like, she's in school, but it's just like, it's almost like she doesn't know what's going on my end, and I don't know what's going on her end, and she's just trying to do her job, but I'm just trying to handle my job because they didn't do their job correctly in the first place. You know? And it was frustrating, and it was so annoying. But I was like, ugh, okay, I took the effort to call you. Then I faxed it over. Paid on this date, circle. Please update your system. Then I called my daughter and said, yo, you need to come over to the house when I finally get a day off, and we're going to call them together, because now I have to guide her and teach her how to speak with them to say, listen, it was paid. She's never had to do stuff like that before. So I have to guide her and I have to show her. Then I gotta get my nephew who lost his IDs. Now I gotta get his COVID shot like situated and vaccine situated, but without the ID, I'm sitting here like, hello. Now I gotta go through that whole process with him. And do you know what it's like to talk to someone who has schizophrenia? Like, can you please find someone who has schizophrenia and have a conversation with them? Maybe at the time you're having a conversation with them, it might be normal at that moment. But maybe it won't be. So with the limited time that I have to determine whether or not his schizophrenia brain cells can comprehend what I'm saying, just to schedule a vaccination. Okay? Staying with me? Now, because Sheri is a smart chick, and believe me, I've had like multiple people tell me this in the last week, I'm arguing with the insurance company. Why? Because I knew something wasn't right when they tried to claim that the damage on the roof had nothing to do with what was on the insurance. And I had a licensed contractor who, by the way, when it was raining and the fucking rain's coming through the roof and it's hitting my floor, and I like swing open the door to the bedroom and start screaming at my husband, you better call your motherfucking contractor right fucking now because there's water coming through the fucking roof onto my fucking floor. Yeah, they gave me money to fucking, you know, repair the inside, but what's that gonna fucking do to me if my roof's not fucking fixed? Yeah, exactly. So then the contractor calls me. He's apologizing to me because he lost his phone. And I'm like, yo, what do you want me to do? I'm trying to get ready for work. That's all I pretty much do. And, like, I got rain coming through my fucking ceiling. You know? And he's like, well, I lost my phone. Okay. Well, you got your phone back now. So let's take care of business. Okay? All right. Yeah. Talk about shit that I do, man. Like, you don't understand. Like, I take care of mines. And this energy and this time right now, I am at, it's like, I'm like, No bullshit balls Sheri. You know what I'm saying? So if you come to me with some bullshit, I'm going to question it. You know, that's just where I'm at right now. Because I'm getting hit with so much shit going on that I don't have time to digress and be like, oh, well, let's wait, ring around the rosy. I don't have that time, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I can be patient, right? But right now, I can just, it's like everywhere you go, everyone is just so burnt out. They're so burnt out. And I get it. I get it. So why do I have to be Miss Nice Guy? Why? Why do I have to be Miss Nice Guy when everyone else is already up to here with the shit that's going on and they don't even know how to handle it? So now you got somebody like me who's trying to be understanding, and you're sitting there being like, well, I don't want to do it because it's too much work for me because I'm already overwhelmed. And I'm over here like, dude, man, but I need to get this shit done. I'm coming into hurricane season. What the fuck do you want me to do? You want me to crawl up onto my fucking roof and put a goddamn tarp over it? But even then, hurricane winds, that'll fucking blow that shit right off. Seriously. I have sent you emails, I have called, you haven't gotten back to me, and you fucking think that I'm gonna be Miss Nice Guy? No, I am no bullshit ball Sheri right now. Seriously. And I don't mean to come at you with this energy, and it's just kind of like annoying. When I've been nice, when I've been honest, when I've been truthful, when I've been myself, and then I get all this bullshit? Do you think that is fair to me? It's not fair at all. But you know what? You know what? Doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter, because no matter how honest and truthful and heartwarming and funny and loving person I can be, there's always going to be somebody out there who doesn't like it. And I know they don't like it because they have to look at themselves. And at this point, it's kind of like, I can't say I feel bad for you because you put yourself in this predicament. You really did. And then you want me to clean up the mess? Like, how many parents out there, when their kids make a mess, do you pick it up for them or do you make them clean it? You know? Why should I have to work all day, come home and clean up the mess that was made while I was at work when I didn't even make it? Why? Like, seriously. Yeah, I'll help you because I care about you and I love you. But I sometimes just feel like no matter how hard I try, it's just like you can't get out of your own head to say, wow, I didn't see it like that. You know? And I just see that energy going around with a lot of people right now too. It's not just me. It's, you know, but there's only, you know, it's kind of funny. Like, I'll be like, I'll push it off, I'll push it off, I'll push it off, I'll push it off, I'll push it off. I'm taking it in, but I'm pushing it off. And then all of a sudden I blow up, you know? And then you get no bullshit ball Sheri. But when you get no bullshit ball Sheri, that's when you start seeing a lot of things get completed, because it gets to a point where I'm like, no, I've been saying it too damn long. No. You know, how many times am I going to sit here and say, okay, I'll wait. No. I want the shit done, and I want it done now. That's where you got me. You know? It's where you got me. I love you to death. And I would do anything for you. But you also have to learn a lesson here. Not only do I have to learn a lesson, but you need to learn a lesson too. And when you learn that lesson, you can take that information and you can then move forward. But every once in a while I get like this. And I think through the entire pandemic and through the entire year, I have really, held my own, kept my composure some of the times. But, man, I have no problem helping people if they really want the help. And I know they're not going to always take my advice. And yeah, it gets frustrating when you're trying to show them. But they need to see the light on their own, Maybe I've just been blinded by the light the entire time. I wanted to be a loving person. I wanted to give love. I wanted to receive love. I'm afraid to receive love because people love me, people love me. And there's different levels of love. It's just, like my kid's father. I love my kid's father. I had 3 kids with him. I would never, ever, ever, ever change that. Never change that. And I met him right after high school. My husband, who was my husband at the time, him and I stopped talking, and I don't know if he was I think he went to jail. He went to jail that summer, and when he got out, I was working with my kid's father. We were both working at a seafood restaurant, and I had just come back from Arizona or whatever, and I needed a place to stay, so I was staying with my older sister, and then I started talking to my kid's father, and at the same time, I was messing around with my husband, but hey, don't get it twisted. He was a ladies' man. You have no idea. I've already been there, done that. Anyways, so he gets in trouble. He goes to jail for the summer. And then, I'm there. I make sure there's money in his account. Every visit I go, blah, 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 blah. And this is like, this is like real shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and everyone knows the story because I always talk about it. And, because it's weird how him and I got back together. And then when he got out, he just went back to doing the same shit. And I remember I was hanging out with my kid's father, and I ended up just kind of hooking up with him and started staying at his house because it was like 2 miles down the street from where I worked. So it was easy. We'd work like, 12, 14 hours, and then I'd go to his house, take a shower, stay over, and then get up and go to work the next day. So we started like we were together, I guess. And I remember getting a phone call at my kid's father's house. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, all right. So my husband calls me at this house. And I said, what do you want? And he said, can you come pick me and the guys up at basketball at the school? And I was like, why? I haven't talked to you in like a couple months. Why? Like, why? Because you need a ride? He's like, yeah. He's like, we'll hang out. We'll go get, I can go get you liquor. Because at the time I wasn't old enough to drink. He's like, we'll go get you some liquor, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm not going. And my kid's father at the time was watching me on the phone. And I was like, he wants me to go pick him up. And then he got upset. And he was like, why are you going to go pick him up? Blah, 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 blah. He's like, you've been hanging out with me. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't want to leave him and the guys at the school. You know what I mean? Needless to say, I never ended up picking him up at the school, and I left him stranded with his friends at the elementary school because I didn't want the guy I was currently dating to be upset. My husband and I talk about it. He's like, you left me stranded at the school. I said, well, you kind of deserved it. So, you know. So, for a long time, there has been this back and forth between my kid's father and my husband. I mean, they're fine now. They're cordial now, but, you know, it's just a lot. But I love them both. I love them both. And is it okay to love them both? You know? Now, mind you, I wasn't in a straight relationship with either one of them at the time. But I wanted to do the right thing. But at the same time, I kind of felt like, well, dude, like, every time you went away to jail, I was always there, doing everything for you, you know? And then as soon as you got out, it was back to the same routine. And it's like, you know? And this, I'm just going back to when I was like 19, 20. So, it's never really one that like would mess around with a lot of different guys. Like, it was kind of funny, like I couldn't go anywhere in town, actually the whole state, because everyone knew I was Troy's girl, right? So it was like, Jesus Christ, he can be out with this one and that one and like not even committed to me, and yeah, I can't do anything. Like, this is crazy. But my kid's father, he's from New York, so I'm like, finally, I found somebody that I can like have fun with, do stuff with, you know, and like he doesn't really give a shit that I'm Troy's girl, because obviously everyone was his girl at the time, right? But in general, I was his girl. Everybody knew I was his girl. So yes, I couldn't really go anywhere. I couldn't be with anybody. So I've lived that life. And the funny thing is like I could always go out to the bar and stuff, and he would always show up, and we'd always get in an argument, because I'd want to go home with him. And he, whatever he was doing, he was macking, whatever the shit he was doing at the time. He doesn't do that now, but that I know of. But, and him and I have these conversations. Like, that's the great part, is that my husband and I, like, we are friends, so we do talk, you know? But it took us a long time. That's why everyone used to call it the never-ending story of Sheri and Troy, because it would just constantly go on. To the point where his like, guy friends would be like, oh, fuck, Sheri's here. I remember I was told a story once that when we were at, like, this house party, and he was macking to some other chick, right? And they were coming to the party, and he found out I was there. He had to have one of his homegirls, right? He went up to her and was like, yo, Sheri's here. You got to do something with this one. So she tells me that story all the time. She's like, so she had to take care of the other one so that I wouldn't know. But I always knew. And I would confront him. You know, by the time I got him in the bedroom, you know, I'd confront him, oh, who was that? Blah, 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 blah. And he'd tell me. And that was the best part about it, is like, he was honest with me, and I was honest with him, you know. But, you know, and I'm just talking about back in the day, you know. But I've been there, I've done that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there, done that. I'm allowed to have guy friends. I'm allowed to have girlfriends. I'm allowed to do as I please because I'm a human being and I have free will. He'll tell me if he doesn't like something. You know? Man, I have so many stories. They used to tell me I could write a book. Ugh, just the shit that I went through. You know? But anyways, I'm trying to shuffle the, we're still on the sip and think. But, you know, I was chatting and talking and just kind of letting you know a little bit about, like, me. As I am Sheri. But, you know. Anyways. I do care about you. I have love for you at this point. Whether or not, you know, the love is deeper, you know, I just haven't looked at it right now. I'm just, you know, focused on getting done what I need to get done. And I enjoy the laughter and I enjoy kind of being free and just acting silly and, you know, maybe getting to know each other that way, I guess, you know. Instead of it all being like bullshit and stupid, superficial shit, you know. Don't get me wrong, I'm like bougie, you know. Bougie. Bougie. I got turquoise on my wrist. That's the Bougie Native song. Alright, so I have our Drive inspirational quote cards, and I've been shuffling them as I was talking to you about what happened to me, like, and believe me, I didn't even give you the full story. You just got, like, bits and pieces. Starve your distractions, but feed your focus. So, in regards to our effort, since I'm getting off track, starve your distractions, feed your focus. It's been fun kind of chatting. Sometimes I have to watch what I say too, because, you know, there's certain stuff that you just really, you know, you take it to the grave and you just, you know, talk about it. Or there's, you know, other people out there that don't want it talked about. Like my husband and my baby daddy, if they watch this, they'll be mad at me that I even talked about it. But everybody around here already knows, you know. That's not even a mystery. That's just... Here's our choices cards. Let's see what we can talk about with our choices cards. Alright. If you had to choose, win $1 million or always have perfect health. Well, my choice would be to win $1 million at this point because I know my health is not perfect. So, however, it depends on how you win the $1 million. Because if you win the lottery, you got to pay taxes on that. But if someone gifts you $1 million, I don't think you have to pay taxes on that. But honestly, $1 million, how long would that last? You have to really be smart about how you invest that money. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it can be gone in a second. It's kind of like when you bring in 10 G's a month, right? You know what I'm saying? So if you bring in 10 G's a month, that shit's gone. It's almost like, oh, shit. So 10 G's to me is probably like $10 to you, you know? Shit, you can't buy shit for 10 G's. And you're like, Sheri, are you fucking kidding me? You can buy a lot. Well, not when you have assets. Not when you want to invest. Not when you have kids. And again, you can disagree with me on that one. But it's almost like I used to be at a point where it was like, oh, $1. Oh, I can do so much with $1, right? Then it was, oh, if I could only put, if I put $1 a day away, right? That's $356 at the end of the year. But what if I put $10 a day away, right? And that's 3,000, right? $3,650. But if I can put 10,000 away a month, now we're talking. However, it just seems like every time it comes in, it rolls out. So I'm also focused on money management. Hey girl, what's going on? I've just been like chit-chatting away, talking about all this energy that's been going on. I'm in bandanas because it was bandana today at work. And then I just did my why is yet for our growth mindset. I know. You know what's funny is I was like, oh, before I even look at the book to see what E stands for in the growth mindset book, I was thinking of E. My first one was energy. What am I sipping? White Claw tonight. Spend that kind of energy. And then I was like, oh, what about elevation, evolution? I didn't even think, and then I was like, efficient, and then it wasn't until I opened the book and it said effort, and I was like, oh my god, effort. Alright, ooh, alright, so I got joy. Look at that popcorn popping. Jump for joy, right? To enjoy something, I simply need to add joy to it. Okay, so they want me to add joy into my efforts. Joy is like butter. I can put it on anything and it'll make it way better. Today, I will add joy to everything. Really slather it. Today, I am the Orville Redenbacher of joy. And life's popcorn is about to get it. Butter me up, baby. Joy is your theme? Yep, there it is. Orville Redenbacher. Slather that butter all over you. You can slip and slide in it. You can cook with it. You can bake in it. You can get a suntan in it. Tastes good. Pop the joy. Pop the joy. Yeah, if only me and Pop and Joy could get along. For once. Pop the joy. I like that. What's going on, love? We at the beach earlier? Although, boom. Although, when you said pop the joy, the song that keeps popping in my head is Pop That Pussy by 2 Live Crew. Anyways. Alright, guys. So, effort. Think of butter. Think of butter when you're putting effort into something. Think of joy. Butter. Butter. Cuts just like butter. Butter. Keep thinking about butter. Is butter a sauce? Is it a spice? Butter. What can we do with butter? We can add hot sauce to it. Pop That Coochie is the name. I put my own words into it. Pop that butter. Maybe someone will come up with a song or a lyric that has to do with butter. Although it says joy here. It says joy. But my mind keeps going to butter. Butter is a lubricant. I have not, I will tell you, I've tried some things, but I have not tried butter. I like that natural raw sugar. Butter is a lubricant. I'm telling you, you get creative with butter. I mean, people make butter sculptures. You have salted butter, you have unsalted butter. You have creamy butter, you have whipped butter. I mean, there's so many things you can do with butter. And, right here, butter looks yellow, right? Like the sun. But if you add some hot sauce to it, it's got a little kick to it, a little spice. Oh, butter my biscuits. Butter my biscuits. All right, girl. I totally just kind of like chit-chatted away. Don't even know what I really said. Nah, I do. Left out some bits and pieces, but hope you got the idea. You know, you can love two people or more than two people at the same time. Nothing is written in stone that you cannot love more than one person. And that is the truth. Here's to effort. Effort, butter, and joy. Have a good night.